Well, good evening, everyone. Now, some of you might have heard that I recently got the Pixel 8. Now, originally, I was going to keep this one unmodified, pure and unmolested, but me being the scumbag that I am, I got the itch and decided to, just get this one, rooted and ready for spoofing. Now, what am I doing today? Well, I think it's pretty obvious based on the title that I'm just going to do a unedited recording of me getting this phone unlocked, or not unlocked, sorry. Yes, actually it is. Unlock bootloader, rooting it, and get it prepped for spoofing. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, let me try to share the screen of my phone over here, just so you guys have a better idea of what I'm doing. Just going to get my application up and running over here. Okay, so right here, as you can see me wiggling around, that is my Android, or my Pixel 8. I guess to just clean up some of the screen over here. This is just a command prompt window that has to stay open while I have this running. Let's minimize that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some information out to you guys. Now this is the info that I got. It's my Pixel 8. Let's see here, build number. The build number way at the bottom over there is going to be important. It'll let us know what firmware we need to use to get the appropriate boot file so we can get Magisk on there. Alright, so we got the build number. Let's also take a look at developer options. Now before you can just unlock the bootloader on a Pixel or any other device that has sorry, a little lost for words for a second. Devices with fast boot mode. There we go. Normally, it would have something called OEM unlocking. That has to be enabled before you can unlock the bootloader. And USB debugging, go ahead and turn that on as well. That's about all you would need to change in developer options. Now, if developer options is not there, if you go to the About Phone section, and if you keep tapping on the build number, eventually it'll say that you have developer mode enabled, but I don't need to do that. You'll probably notice that it says no need, you're already a developer. It's because I did that a while ago. So we can just leave my Android alone for a bit, and we need to get some tools from our good old friend Google. Alright, so Pixel firmware. Now why do I need the firmware? Well, from the firmware, what I actually need from it is the init boot file. That is the file that I'm going to need to run through Magisk to get it patched, so I can flash it onto the Pixel 8. Now, we'll go through everything over here, unedited, so you can see exactly what I'm doing and what all that meant. So you probably noticed that I was mentioning the build number on my Android. Let's go back into this. Alright, let's see here. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry. Alright, so build number. All the way at the bottom. We want to match our build number to the firmware that we're getting so we get the right boot files. Now I'm looking for Pixel 8, so I'm just scrolling down. There's Pixel 8 Shiba, and there's the firmware file we need. Now I'm not clicking on the flash link that's there because that will bring me to the online flash tool. I don't want that. I end up clicking on the link instead, just to download the zip file. Now, for the interest of time, I went ahead and just downloaded that file ahead of time. So if I go into my download section, let's go by date modified. That's what we'll see. After it's done downloading, it's about 2 gigs, a little over 2 gigs, somewhere around there. Oh, the size is over here on the side, over there. So let's go ahead and open, actually before we open that, we're also going to need Android platform tools. Now I already have that on the computer, but if you're wondering where it is, a quick Google search will help you find it. SDK platform tools. And here's in the download section. You can get it for Windows, Mac, or Linux. I tried it on all 3 platforms before. You know, it works pretty much the same. I'm working on Windows today because I think it will be more familiar to everyone else. But yeah, you just download it. You have to agree before you can do anything else, and hit download. But you know, I already have this downloaded and opened. You're not actually installing anything with platform tools. It's downloading a zip file, and whenever you extract that zip file, it's all these files. That's all that's there, but we'll get back to that shortly. Okay, now where was I? Oh yeah, back to the firmware download. Minimize that for now. Alright, so I opened up the firmware file. It's a zip file, and I have WinRare to open up my zip files, but you don't need that. You can just use the built-in tools of Windows. Point is, after you open that up, open it again, or open that root folder that you see there. Alright, and then you're going to see image-shiba- and then the build number that should match on your phone, and it's another zip file within that zip file. So if we open this zip file, give it some time to think about it. Okay, so here, that's what I'm looking for, the init boot file. Now, I can't drag this directly into my phone or anything like that, so first, I'm going to have to extract it to someplace convenient. I'm just going to extract it over to my desktop. Oh, that happened all because I was a dumbass. Let's open this again, going to the same root file, opening that. You saw that error message most likely because I closed out the other file window that I wasn't supposed to, and that's why we ran into that issue. But before we close anything, let's get this extracted first. There. Went through without a hitch. Now I can close those WinRare windows. Okay, so now we got the init boot file. That is the file that we need to boot, or that we need to patch using the Magisk. Okay. Now since my Pixel 8 is plugged into my computer, I can just go to the files within my Pixel 8. Just to make things easier, I'm just going to access the downloads folder that's on the Pixel 8. And then I'm just going to copy this init boot file in there. Now this is taking long to copy, all because I have a bunch of stuff sitting in my downloads folder. And you see that green progress bar? I was trying to read everything in my downloads folder first, so this might end up causing an error, but no worries. If it does cause an error, we will just start over. Now, if you have less stuff in your downloads folder, or whichever folder you choose to copy the init boot file into, this should go by a lot faster. Huh, you know, I didn't know I had an existing copy in here. I'm just going to go do not copy, just because I have no idea why that was there. Let's try that again. Huh, I guess I really did have that there. Let's copy and replace, see if it lets us. I heard some Windows error sounds going on there, so I do see that here. This is just me playing it safe. I'm just going to delete it. And try to see what's going on. It's probably because I've done something similar with other devices in the past and then just copied over some older files. Let me go actually onto the Android itself to see if that's even there. There we go. Now you guys can see what I'm looking at. Alright, where are my files? Actually don't even see that there. Okay. Let's try to copy it over again. And of course, I'm running into the most problems while I'm doing a recording. But that's how you guys know that I'm doing this live. Why don't I just pick a different folder? This is just a bunch of stuff there. Music folder. Why not? We'll copy it there just because we can. Alright, so now that that init boot file is on the Android, let's go on to the next step. Now that we're looking at the Android, what we need to do is install Magisk on here. Now, installing Magisk on here is not going to automatically root your phone. What it's going to do is just install the Magisk application. And you can get that from Magisk GitHub page. I'm a sucker for the Canary builds, but you can go with the stable or beta, whatever you want. I just end up using Canary out of habit. Oh, looks like I already have this downloaded, but for the sake of this video, we'll just download it again. Alright. Yeah, you see that band club thing over there? I just like watching people try to figure out what's going on, but not too much to think about. We're all doing this at our own risk, so we all knew the consequences. Alright, let's go ahead and get Magisk installed. Alright, app is installed. Yeah, sure, why not? Now, if you notice on the screen, it says installed NA. That just means that this phone hasn't been rooted yet. Magisk is not enabled. So, we're basically working with a stock phone, and this is just more proof of that. Okay, so if we go install, The only option I have here is select and patch a file. The file we're referring to is the init boot file, so I'm going to use that option. And let's go to that music folder that I sent everything to. There's init boot. And let's go. All done. Okay, so that got saved into the downloads folder of my Android. It's just patched. Okay. Alrighty. So we have a patched boot file. That is exactly what we want. Let's go back into the files over here, and now I gotta go look for that. Let's change this view to details. Date modified, that might be a better way to go. Oh, this hasn't actually refreshed itself. I'm gonna have to disconnect my Android and plug it back in again. It's weird how MTP works. It's not gonna just detect new files on the fly. Okay, let me change this to actually transfer files instead of just charging. There we go. Now we got the Pixel 8 back there. Go to downloads, and let's change our view back to details just to make this a little easier. Alright, there's our patched file. Now where do I want to move this? Earlier, at the beginning of this, I had the Android platform tools. I had that extracted onto my computer. That is where I want to copy this. Alright. Where is my platform tools? Oh, of course, I'm in the wrong section. I'm confusing myself. I was in the downloads folder of my Android, not the downloads folder of my computer. Now I'm in the downloads folder of my computer. Let's go back here, go back here, and we're going to paste it here. I'm actually going to rename this one to P8 patched. That way I don't have to try to figure out which Magisk code name thing got automatically generated over there. Okay, now for this next steps, I can't just cast my phone screen on my computer. It doesn't work that way for this part. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to open up my camera so you guys can actually see the rest of this process. There we go. Now that we have that there, I'm going to close that command window. And now we're just going to get into unlocking the bootloader. Now that doesn't actually root your phone, that's just unlocking the bootloader so I'm allowed to flash this patched init boot file. God, that was a mouthful. But basically this is the file that was created from the Magisk app, and if we try to flash that without unlocking the bootloader, it's going to get rejected. So we have to unlock our bootloader. Now, a bit of a warning here, unlocking a bootloader normally voids the warranty on your phone, so just make sure you're comfortable with that. And another thing is, if you unlock your bootloader, your phone will automatically wipe itself. It's a security feature that all Androids have, so you want to back up your data before you continue to unlock your bootloader. But, you know, if you don't care about what's on your phone, that's okay. I mean, that just means it wasn't valuable to you. But for me, yeah, I mean, my stuff's usually just backing up all the time in the background. So, yes, my data is important to me, but if my phone was wiped or stolen, I don't care since everything's backed up anyway, automatically for me. So, I'm just going to gung-ho and just go march right on ahead. Oop, let me go here. Alright, let's see here. Sorry, working behind like some stand thing that's a little difficult. So here, I'm actually just going to power it off. Let's unplug that. And then we're going to boot in the fast boot mode. Just going to hold down volume down and hold on to power. Did I do that too soon? Probably. Okay, there we go. Fast boot mode. Now, I don't have the best camera here, but what's in green right there is it says that it's locked. So my bootloader is locked. That's okay. We are here to unlock that. Alright, so if you guys can still see my screen, I'm pretty sure you can. What I'm going to do here, holding down shift, right click, and then open in terminal. Okay, here we have a terminal window, or actually it's PowerShell. Alright, moment of truth. We're going to unlock the bootloader. Fast boot, flash, unlock. Now where did I get this command? Well, if we go back to Google on this firmware page, there's commands here that you can reference back to get into fast boot mode and unlock your bootloader and flash firmware. This is where I got the unlock command from. Now, if you didn't use the open terminal here option, you're probably gonna have to change your default path here. But since I chose to open it here, which is within that folder I had opened, that's how I'm able to just run this command without many modifications. So if I hit enter, that did not work as expected. Okay. Time to go back to the drawing board. Well, that was odd. Well, let's try this again. Let's allow me to do that. There we go. And to add that / at the end. Okay. That's looking a little better. Now you probably notice that this is on my screen. Now what is it telling me? It's just giving me a warning that if you unlock your bootloader, you're gonna make your device less secure. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, you should just stop now, get like a different scumbag or trap phone, and do all your unlocking stuff there. Now, what does it actually say on the screen? Well, it doesn't really matter. It's all a bunch of technical jargon. But at the top, it's asking me if I really actually want to unlock it. Do not unlock or unlock bootloader. I'm choosing the option to unlock the bootloader by just pressing the volume key. And then I'm going to press the power button to just confirm it. There we go. My fate is sealed. Alright, we are officially unlocked. And just to prove that my data got wiped, I'm just gonna boot it back to system, just so we can see that it actually did get wiped. It should. If it didn't, well, I'm not too sure what to say, but I had that happen once. But then that was from one of my old Xiaomi devices, but ideally it should be wiped for security reasons. No, I'm a bit rusty. I usually remember all these commands by heart. Okay, so what's happening on the other screen? Yep, so every time I reboot or turn on my phone, it's going to show me a warning that, you know, that my bootloader is unlocked, and it'll remind me, or it'll try to encourage me to relock it, but I don't really care. Now this first boot might take a while. Oh, that's done a lot faster than I thought. Oh, cool. Now that we proved that it's wiped, you don't really have to prove it, but I'm just doing it just because. I gotta get back into fast boot mode. Now, why are we going back into fast boot mode? That is so we can flash that boot file that got generated from Magisk. Now, I already know this isn't the most interesting video ever out there on the interwebs, but I think it's good for, I guess, a bit of context. If you follow a lot of guides online on how to root your phone, it's easy for people that are very familiar with the process, but if you're very new to this, the online instructions that you read from anywhere, it's gonna come off as confusing. So I think this video, it's more for those people that are just very, very new to the process. If you're already like a pro at this, then this video is kind of useless to you. Plug back in USB cable. Alright. And here we are. Hello, terminal. Now for the Pixel 8, let's see here. The process is very similar. What I'm doing right now for the Pixel 8 is going to be very similar to every device that uses fast boot. Now, you should still look at guides for your specific device, like, say you have a Pixel 6 or a Pixel 7, you probably should look at the guides for that. But the overall process is similar, just the commands might be slightly different. Even if you have, yeah, sorry. It's a bit of a disclaimer. Even with LG devices, I think they're also fast boot. HTC, the HTC doesn't make phones anymore. But yeah, they were also fast boot as well, but I still have my newer Xiaomi devices. Those are all fast boot, so very similar overall. Okay, so back to flashing that file. Fast boot, flash, init boot, and we want our patched file, and I renamed it as p8-patch.img. Now, this is what's a bit different about the Pixels that I've noticed. Init boot, that is what we're flashing to, but if you're dealing with a Xiaomi device or any other fast boot device, it might be just boot instead of init boot. But that's why I'm telling you, please look up exactly the instructions for your specific device. This video is just meant to give the demonstration on what the overall process looks like. Alright, so let's go ahead and flash that. Oh no, what happened? Huh, maybe it didn't work. Oh, we'll try something else. Hold on. I wonder if it wants me to do the other thing. Okay. It probably wants me to do A and B. There is no B. I wonder if that's just normal. Sorry, I've actually never run into this specific issue that I'm seeing right now. That's why I'm just trying different things. Okay. I probably ran into that other issue with partition boot B because I had it capitalized. So I guess in this scenario, it wasn't just flashing init boot. I had to do flash init boot A and B. Okay, well, you learn something new every day. I actually didn't have to do that on my Pixel 7, but I guess slightly different for the 8. Okay, well, we're learning as we go. See, even the greats make mistakes all the time. Let's reboot. Now let's see what our Pixel looks like over here. And if all goes to hell, well, that's why we got our firmware file downloaded from earlier. We can just reflash the original init boot files. Okay, you know what? We were successfully able to boot back to this screen. That just means that our phone's not a brick, so we are still on the upside. Now, you guys have probably seen this for yourselves plenty of times. Set up using another device. Nope, we're just going to skip that for now, just in the interest of time. Okay, well, let me just put in my info over here. Alright, now I'm just at this screen where it says getting your phone ready. Might take a few minutes, might not. But that is where we are. You know what, I'll sign in. I was going to skip it, but I'll just sign in. Alright. Alright, I'll be using this device. Yep, we're just agreeing to all the terms right now. No, I don't have a mobile network right now. Do I have to? Yeah, you know what? I'll just do that for now. Nope, I do not want a fingerprint. I'm just trying to fly through most of these screens. Now, if you guys did let Google back up your data and apps, then yes, you would click next to continue restoring, but just in the interest of time, I'm going to skip that. Don't copy. Let's see here. Sorry, it's easier for me to just have it next to me while I do all this. Alright, additional legal terms. Like, no, leave. Please, I just want to get all my stuff. I don't need Fitbit or anything like that. I'm a spoofer, I don't walk around. Pixel watch, nope, I don't got one. We'll skip that. We're all set. Okay, now let me get into developer mode, or developer options, just so I can cast my screen to the computer. So it's a bit more clear than just sharing things through a video camera. About phone, build number, there we go. So that's my pin. Okay, there we are. Oh, that was done. Okay, so go back to system, developer options. Let's get our used to be debugging on. That way I can share my screen with you guys. That'll be way better than using this camera. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted. I can close out this PowerShell window. I won't need that anymore. Okay, let's get rid of that. Alright, that should make things a bit easier. Now, here we should be rooted. I'm saying should because we haven't done anything to confirm if we actually are yet. I do see the Magisk icon here. Let's click into it. Upgraded the full version? Sure, that's exactly what we want to do. There we are. Requires additional setup. This is normal. The first time you root, you're going to see this. Now I do see in the background over here that looks like, yes, it is installed. So cool. I just click OK, so it reboots. My screen's going to go away, but we'll be back online soon enough. And I hope you guys like the style of video. This is very long because it's unedited. And I want to give you guys the unedited view of this, just so you can see exactly what goes on behind the scenes. I can get fancy and cut things out and add some backdrop music that nobody cares about, but that was never really my style, just because I'm lazy. Alright. Can we see? Yep, we can see my screen again. Alright, cool. So here we are. Here's Magisk. Magisk is not enabled, but you know what? We will be taking care of that. Let's just go ahead and go through some initial settings over here. Systemless host, you know, I'm just going to allow that because later on, down the road, I am going to install an ad blocker. We'll turn on Magisk. We are going to enforce a deny list. We're going to configure a deny list as well. Show system apps. You have to do the show system apps option, otherwise you're not going to see any of the things that we need to enable for the deny list. Alright, where are we? Google Play Services, Google Play Store, Web Services Framework. And you know, you can check off, there's other guides online too that shows you what you need to check off. Now, why am I checking these applications off? Well, it's to help your phone pass safety net. That's because Pokemon Go relies on safety net, so if you don't pass safety net, that game is not going to load at all. Okay. Everything looks like it should be okay, and if we do miss something, well, go back to the drawing board, start checking more boxes, and we should be all good. I think for now we should be okay. And then someone in the comments is going to tell me that I forgot something. Well, that's fine. I'm always going to forget something. That was weird. I wonder if there's other stuff that's just installing in the background that's making Magisk close like that. Device policy is something that I'm going to need to just kind of fool my work applications that I have a legit unmodified device, so I'm going to need those. But that's just me. Not everyone's going to need that. Okay. Alright. I think we should be all good. Now we will need a reboot since I just enabled Magisk, but before I do that, I want to get some of the other modules that I know I'll need installed to be square with Pokemon Go and all the spoofing stuff. Yes, continue as me, please. Got it. Let's see here, I'm going to need Elsposed. Yep, let's go ahead and get the stable release for that. And it's just downloading the zip files for those. We'll go back into Magisk to actually install them. And I also need Universal Safety Net Fix. Now some people say that they never use this and it's cool, but I've always used this in the past. Okay. Back to Magisk. Get back. Modules. Systemless host, that was done from earlier. Now let's go ahead and install from storage. I have safety net fix. Let's install that. We're not rebooting right now because I want to install everything first. Let's go ahead and get that installed. Alright, and do I have Google Drive here? Yes, I do have Google Drive here. Now you can choose whatever spoofing application you want, but I'm just sticking to one of my own. Alright, so let's see here. Where is my spoofer folder? There it is. Created that thing a long time ago, during the golden era of spoofing. Alright, I have quite a few on my list over here, but the one that I always default back to is new GPS. Now, let me just make this clear. I am not the developer of new GPS. All I really did was I just modified someone else's application. I just updated it with icons that I wanted, and I just removed all the ads. But yeah, people think I'm the developer of that. I am definitely not the developer of that. Unsafe? Sure. I'm installing it anyway. Out there in the real world, though, you should not install something that you don't recognize. I recognize this because, well, I'm the guy that made this modified app. Done and done. Now, let's go ahead and just set that right now as my mock location app. Now, I still need to reboot my phone because of the changes we made in Magisk, but I'm just getting some things out of the way before that happens. Select mock location app. Yep, we're choosing that. And time to reboot again. Oh, it's this thing. Power menu. I don't care about the digital assistant. Okay, reboot. Now, after rooting your phone, you might notice that the Play Store says that your device is not certified. You can go through a bunch of tricks to make sure that your device is certified, but for the purpose of Pokemon Go, you don't really need your device to be certified in the Google Play Store. Okay, here we are again. Okay, let's take a look at Magisk again. Okay, so we're here. Good, alright. Universal Safety Net Fix is there. Is it just Elsposed is there? Good. Alright, now the LSPOS app module. Let's tap into it. Welcome to LSPOS. Okay, thanks for the intro. Alright. Now here, what I need to download and install is I'm going to the repository. I'm looking for hide mock locations. There we are. Let's get that installed. 2.0.9. Yes, that is the one we want. Open. Yes, allow my unsafe application to be installed from Chrome. App is installed but not activated yet. It gives you the warning up at the top. Let's go ahead and get that activated. We're going to enable this, but you notice that you'll probably won't see Pokemon Go here. Actually, of course I'm not going to see here. I haven't installed it yet. But by default, this application hides games, so you have to uncheck games for Pokemon Go to even show up. But let's get Pokemon Go installed. Yes, you can see my list of older devices that are still around, all still spoofing just fine as well. Favorite spoofing device probably has to be the Redmi Pad. But having a spoofing device on the go as your main phone is pretty damn convenient. You can get your calls and annoying messages while spoofing. Okay, so we got Pokemon Go there. Let's make sure Pokemon Go runs just fine, because if it doesn't run properly, then we need to fix something before we can get any kind of spoof action going on. And of course, in true spoofer fashion, I gotta hide my username. Yay, sign with Google. No, I don't want your notifications. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. Okay, so the game runs properly. That just means that we're passing safety net, so there's not much for us to worry about right now. Now we just need to know, does it spoof? And I'm pretty sure it will. Actually, what dumb thing was I going to do? Sorry, I'm even confusing myself. Oh yeah, we gotta make sure that our spoofer application is working. Sure. Let this display over other apps. Alright, we'll go back to everyone's favorite place, which is Pure 39. There's probably not much going on at Pure 39 right now because it is late in the night. Ooh, actually, let's make some changes to the settings here. Alright, let's see here. We'll do that. Get rid of that. We'll make that 15-ish. Location. Now these are just some settings that I just use. No one told me to make these changes. It's just something I've been doing for years and years and years. That can stay as is. We'll put this to a random number. 17. Why not? Just because I feel like using it. Okay. Pure 39 it is. Okay. Oh yeah, of course I'm an idiot. That's what I forgot to do. Hold on, let's stop this application. Okay, so what I forgot to do was going back to the Expose module to hide Pokemon Go. Well, it shows up in my list now. So we check the box for that. And now we should be good. Let's run our application and open up Pokemon Go. And there we are. Spoofing along just fine. No, I'm not going to tap anything right now because of cooldown stuff, and I have no idea when was the last time I did anything. Let's turn that off. Not shiny. That's not cool. Oh, something hatched. Hey, cool. Oh, I don't care about this guy. Whatever. No, I don't want Adventure Sync. I don't want you to know my history. No, nope, no shinies. Okay. Well, that is basically it for getting your phone rooted and set up for spoofing. Now, this took a bit longer than usual, probably because I was rambling on a lot and just doing some random chit chat. But if you have your nose to the grind, pretty close to the grind, then you can probably do this a lot faster. Well, that is it for today, guys. You guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. And be sure to not catch the shiny ban message.